Oh, hey y'all. Welcome back to Tit Talk. I got Dr. Tim back, getting ourselves adjusted. I'll tell you a little bit today about how mamas and babies get fixed.
Woo!
Next. Alright, y'all. Welcome back to Tit Talk. Chelsea here. And we are joined again by our favorite chiropractor of all time, Dr. Tim Moynihan. Today, we're going to talk not so much about the mom adjustments, although thank you. We're going to talk a little bit more about what it looks like for a baby to be adjusted. I know that you are familiar with the looks of terror that parents give when such a thing is suggested. I know my reasons for wanting babies to get adjusted, and that's something we can discuss maybe a little bit later, but I'm curious to hear from you. Why would a baby need an adjustment?
That is a great question, and it's something that I have to explain to people every single time I share with what I do in the world. And pediatric chiropractic is so important with kids, especially if they had a complicated delivery onto this world. C-section or vaginal birth, it can be traumatic. So a lot of things I see in the office are inability to move their head side to side, so that looks like favoring feeding from one breast over the other, and a lot of constipation, colic, irritability, sleep disturbances.
Ugh, like we need any more of that.
All of that fun stuff. And then I see a lot of tension in the upper spine, so whether they were pulled out with forceps or they didn't get that squeezing or compression of the head through the birth canal. Just a lot of tone, either increased tone or decreased tone. So
if your baby is super tense or very floppy, those would be two good reasons to check in with a chiropractor.
Yeah, so like throwing their head back or arching their back, or just having their legs constantly straight and flexed, like contracted, or on the opposite end of the spectrum, not being able to hold their head up or turn over, say at 6 months.
The big question, is it painful for a baby to get an adjustment?
No, it is not painful at all. It's way different from adult treatment. So adults, you hear a lot of clicking, popping, cracking, and which feels great, but to
really
kids, you don't hear that. You don't have to do that. There's no thrusting or any audible clicks or pops.
That's a relief.
Yeah, because they're so new and so open, and their bones aren't even formed yet, that it's kind of just like a glorified massage. You just hold wherever you find a restriction in their spine, and they kind of like sink right into it. They know exactly what they need, and their bodies respond really fast as well.
On that note, how soon should a baby be seen, would you recommend? And then are there amounts of, are there certain points at which you think they should be adjusted? Should it be just an as needed basis? What do you recommend?
I would say the earlier the better, catching anything before it evolves into
a habit.
Yeah, or like a compensation pattern, or saying you don't grow out of things, you grow into them. So like anything that you have, whether it's a misalignment in your neck or your low back, just nipping that in the bud as soon as you can. So whether it's hours, days, or maybe a week after labor, and then it depends on how intense the labor was, or how long you were in labor, or any complications that came up during that time.
Okay, so we thought we would put together a little bit of footage of what a baby adjustment looks like, and we got the cutest baby in the history of babies to let us show you on. What we wanted to do with this adjustment was correct some spitting up, some sleeplessness, some maybe not pooping every day, a couple little things that mom was dealing with, lots of milk, so baby is working on swallowing well and keeping everything down, and so Dr. Tim came in just to give us a little help, and we got lucky enough to be able to catch it on video. So
yeah, and I will be sharing exactly what I am doing in the video.
So roll tape.
Sit tight and get ready to
be amazed.
Yeah. So here we are checking the tone of this little one's upper cervical spine here. She is dealing with a lot of mucus and discharge in her nose, so I'm just checking her C1 vertebrae, and it seems to be a little restricted on the left side, so I'm just putting the amount of pressure you would use to check the ripeness of a tomato or an avocado, and that C1 vertebrae just sinks right back into form. And as you can tell, she's very squirmy and receptive. And just look at that little head of hair on her. That is something else. So I'm just reassessing, seeing what it feels like after the adjustment. And then I'm just gently tractioning on her little head there, just to create some space between her bones, her cervical spine, her neck bones, and really just letting her heal and find her way into where her body would like to be. Here we are, just checking the range of motion of her hips, feeling for any clicking or popping in the back of her sacrum there. And now I'm checking her pelvic alignment. Since she is having inconsistent poops or elimination challenges, we look to the sacrum as that can be the root cause of trouble pooping consistently, because there is nerve compression, and these nerves communicate with the intestines and anus and tell it when to eliminate when the time is right. So it's very common that babies hold on one side, so it is her left sacrum that is out, and just gently pushing that back into where it is in proper form. And then I'm just feeling more her mid-back thoracic spine area, and that felt really well, so she was handed off to her mother.
That was very relaxing. Thank you to baby's mom and beautiful family for letting us use her. Thank you, Dr. Tim, for walking us through that. I hope that that was as helpful for all of you to see as it was for me. I know I was terrified to get my baby adjusted the first time, but it ended up being probably the best thing I ever did for that kid. If you're lucky enough to live in the LA area, you can head on over to Rosewood Healing Center and check in with Dr. Tim. We will have his information in the show notes. He is on Instagram at chiropractim if you absolutely have to check in with him right now. You can also check in with me if you're needing help with lactation, breastfeeding, the mammaries. I am on Instagram at myorobaby and at orobaby.com. Awkward high five, Tim?
Let's do it.
That might have been our most awkward high five.
I just had to go for your face.
It's just
You
so
just had to,
rude.
do something.
He's the sixth child.
Yeah.
That's what that's about.